Good evening, and thank you all for attending this evening and our annual Candidates Night. I'd also like to thank all of the candidates for attending this educational opportunity. It really, as you know, we're unable to ask questions if someone is opposed and they don't have their candidate showing up. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization that encourages informed and active participation in government. And because of our nonpartisan position, and due to the 501c3 status, I'm sure you'll understand that we are held to certain guidelines when hosting our forums. We make every effort to act fairly. Our guiding principle for the forum is that there's an unbiased and impartial treatment of all candidates. Therefore, we are unable to allow such practices as empty chair debates, moderating our own forums, and entertaining questions that could be misinterpreted as favoring a candidate. So with that, I would like to ask everyone to silence their cell phones as a courtesy. The League will be posting the complete forum on our website and cable television, and we are unable to allow unauthorized recordings as videos can be edited and might not represent the actual proceedings. Lastly, I'd like to thank Chris Wilk, who's arranged our forums for many years. And now I'd like to introduce our moderator, who we were very fortunate to have last year as well. It's Elizabeth Foster Nolan.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Just to give you folks some background, I have been trained by the Massachusetts League of Women Voters as a moderator. I apologize for the voice, a little bit of a spring cold, but I don't foresee that as a problem this evening. Full disclosure, I grew up in Hingham. I don't currently live in Hingham. I have nobody in the game this year. I don't know anybody personally and did not go to high school with anybody that I'm aware of that is running for tonight. But just like to give you that as a caveat before we start so people understand that. And what I'm going to do first is explain the procedures for the forum so that everybody in the room, as well as the candidates who have received this information prior to this evening, have an understanding of the way that we are going to move forward with all of this. We do have two groups of candidates tonight. We have candidates for uncontested races, and those who have been able to join us tonight will give a 2-minute statement, or those who have provided a statement to us that I will read because at a last minute they could not show up. Then after we have the uncontested races, we will move on to the contested races. For the contested races, we will have the candidates up here, and they will each have 2 minutes for an opening statement. They will then be asked questions by me that have been vetted through the Hingham League of Women Voters. There will be 1 minute to answer each question. There will be no rebuttal. And then each individual at the end of my questions will have 1 minute to give a closing statement. The opening statements will be done in the order where people are seated, and then we will start on the far right, and then we will alternate so that people will get a chance to answer first or answer last, or if there are 3 people, not always be the person in the middle. So it will be done randomly, and the Hingham League did a random lottery, so that's how things were drawn. So we have done that in fairness. So we will keep going back and forth. Candidates, if I slip up and I go back to you, let me know. And then in front here we have our timekeepers. They dressed in purple tonight, so it's coordinated. I don't think they planned that. But when there's a minute left for your opening statement, candidates, they will hold up the 1 minute warning sign. When you have 30 seconds, they will hold up the 30 seconds. And then when you need to stop, they will hold up the stop card. So please wrap up at that point. If you do not wrap up, I will nicely and gently say thank you very much, and I will move on to the next candidate. Do not take it personally. It's just to keep the debate flowing and to go with our rules for the timing. Next, personal references about the candidates are out of order. I will stop you. Those are not allowed. This is a forum. This is an issues forum, so we want to keep it to an issues forum. There is a camera at the back of the room. The forum is being taped, and there will be a link to the video on the Hingham League website. And then the forum will also be rebroadcast on Hingham's public channel, Comcast channel 97 and Verizon 31 in the weeks leading up to the election. I'm going to ask you again, cell phones, droids, iPads, games, anything that might make a noise. I'm just going to remind you, please turn it off. It is a little embarrassing when I call you out if you get the phone call in the middle of the forum. Please treat all candidates fairly. We ask that there be no clapping, calling out, cheering, with the exception at the end of the closing statements for whatever group. You may applaud if you wish. No campaign literature is allowed in this room. Buttons, T-shirts, whatever. If you look down and you have one on, take it, slip it in your pocket. There is information that some candidates have left outside, and that is perfectly fine. People do have index cards, so questions were submitted ahead of time, and I do have a list of questions. But if there is another question that is burning, please, are you ready?
Yeah, we'll collect them.
They'll collect the cards. Just sort of raise your hands. They'll be keeping an eye out. So, and basically, we will read as many questions as I have time, and but we do want to provide the opportunity to cover a variety of